But this one day I thought, whoa, this guy is the talent.
4 long years for him. That's my fault, really.
They were great years.
He would nearly win on a bike that people, in my opinion, thought was better than it was.
I've had a few tougher teammates in my career that you didn't have that with, and when we did the appeal in Magnaker for when he went on the green paint, it's because
I wasn't going to bring it up, John.
well, I'm happy to bring it up. Yeah, but I always felt I could be open with my teammate.
What do you call a guy standing outside the door? Matt.
What do you call a man with a spade on his head?
Doug.
What do you call a man without a spade on his head?
Not Doug.
Douglas.
Jonathan Ray joining us on the Paddock Pass podcast. And Johnny, this is obviously a special weekend for you, but we've got a couple of special guests joining us as well. Paddock, Toprak's going to join us as well. And this weekend, Johnny, you've announced your decision to retire. And obviously everyone's interested to hear your take on it, really. What was it that led you to the decision?
Honestly speaking, it just felt correct. I mean, there's so many little things that were the catalyst in making my decision, but even as much as back to a few years ago, it was something that was playing in my mind. I didn't know what to do after racing, still don't, to be honest. So it's jumping into the unknown, but the move to Yamaha really lit a fire, that I could come somewhere else, work with different people, enjoy different surroundings. And of course, everything's been amazing apart from the result. The result on track's been really tough. And I'm sure if I didn't have the success I had in my past career, it would be easier to endure. But the high highs of 2015 through to 2020, 21, it's you can't replicate that any other way. So just riding around, struggling, and battling inside the top 10 wasn't enough, and the sacrifice we all do, not just myself, but we all do as riders, to be here just was starting to become not worth it, to be honest. My kids play, in academies back home in Northern Ireland, and there's times on a Saturday, for example, they're playing a friendly, and I'm lining up the Super Pole at 11 a.m. and they're kicking off at 10 a.m. back home. And there's times when I'm struggling that bad on a weekend, I wish I was there, and it's not right. And I've had a few crashes that were tough to overcome, and then the moment in Most, when I was coming back to a bit of bike fitness, and I crashed an FP1, and I seen the bike coming at me again, and I don't like being morbid. The sport's tough, and the tough moments are really bad. The highs are amazingly high as well, but there was nothing in between for me. It was like the high highs or the low lows, and I never found any comfort in just treating it like a job. It was all or nothing, and when I wasn't getting them highs, then I was happy enough to be done. Tough decision, but the correct one.
Alex, obviously for 4 years you're able to look and learn from Johnny and be able to see the challenge. And
4 long years for him. That's my fault, really.
they were great years. Great years.
Yeah, I really loved it being his teammate. We had some good, well, I would say good battles on track. Normally he was a long way in front of me, but we did have some good battles on track. I was coming from a long time on the Yamaha. Not sure what to expect. I didn't know Johnny. I knew him in the paddock, but I didn't know him too well, let's say, off the bike. And we got on really well. I learned a lot off in terms of riding, let's say. A lot of things I could learn in how he managed the weekends, how he rode the bike, and also I would say off the bike, obviously now he's coming to the end of his career, but the way he managed everything, even though he's doing so well, was, I learned a lot of that as well. So on top of all that, I learned that he was a good bloke, and I would say we became friends, and we are friends, and we will be friends in the future. So it's sad for me to see Johnny stop, because he has been the guy from my time in Superbike. But at the same time, that's unfortunately part of our job. It comes to an end. He's done unbelievable. And whatever he decides to do next, whatever it is, in any walk of life, he's going to do well, because he has that attitude. So it's just a pleasure. I look back with some happy memories of our time as teammates.
Got a new job, Alex's umbrella boy.
And obviously, Johnny, that friendship is something that's always interesting for us, because when you look back over your career, probably the easiest comparison is with Haslam as your teammate, and you're able to have that bit of a relationship. But at the stage of your career, when you were earlier in your career with Leon or Sylvain or obviously Tom was a different type of teammate. But when you get towards the end of your career, you're able to be a little bit more open with your teammates as well and build that relationship.
Yeah,
Had a good year with this
what do you
bloke.
call a man with a car in his head?
Jack.
No, you see, he knows him. He's got just as bad jokes as me for sure.
I always felt I could be open with my teammates.
What do you call a guy standing outside the door? Matt.
Biggest thing you need from your teammate is respect. And if you have respect on track and off track, that's enough. And
What do you call a man with a spade on his head?
Doug.
What do you call a man without a spade on his head?
Not Doug.
Douglas.
the teammates you don't get on with are generally the ones that have a chip in their shoulder or bitter or let's say jealous or whatever. And I mean, I've had some incredibly good teammates that I enjoyed sharing the box with. Probably none more so than Alex, because the off track, Alex and Leon is a good example, because you could go bar to bar for, I don't know, 20 laps, 40, 36, 40 minutes and come in and, okay, not be happy that you got beaten or you beat them, but that's it, full stop. It's Sunday evening now. We've got to do PR events together. You've got to be civil with each other. And if you can enjoy that time, because there's a lot of, the reality is what you see at home or you read in the media is generally is the weekend, it's the action. But the reality is you travel with these people, you do PR, marketing exercises all year long. So the more harmonious a box can be, then the happier it is. And yeah, we certainly had that. You know, I've had a few tougher teammates in my career that you didn't have that with, and sometimes that gives you more anger or motivation to beat them. But then there's times, guys you do get on with, when Alex has a great result. You know, I was always one to, you know, I remember when, you know, Phillip Island, you won your first race with Cowie. You know, I came to Park Ferme to say him after, well done. Like, that was important. I was happy for him. I was pissed off that I had a bad weekend, but you know,
That's pretty much what I had to do every weekend. When I had to crash off in his tent and he won again, I'm like, oh, well done, mate. Beers are on you again this time. But it was good memory.
I was just happy after the seasons we worked together, I managed to shake the reputation of being tight. So
Have you shaken that, Mark?
yeah, I hope I have.
Fair enough.
Can't remember the last coffee I ever bought, but
No, he's not tight.
That's why we're doing this in Yamaha Hospitality. None of us have to buy the car.
He's not tight. Gaz that works with him is now the tightest person in the paddock. So
That's good. I'm
not
still on the podium though, so that's okay.
yeah, you are. Yeah.
But when you look at it, obviously whenever you leave Yamaha to come to Kawasaki, you're excited to be able to compare yourself to Johnny, first and foremost. And that's something that a lot of riders can shirk from. They don't want to take that on. But when you look at the time together, what was the one thing that stands out as being the big strength for Johnny on the bike?
From a riding point of view, there's lots of things he does well if you want to get into like techniques and how to ride the bike and all that. But what impressed me the most, I think I would say, was there's a lot. But before I was his teammate, I even said this to him many times. You're sort of, I don't know if jealous or envious is the right word, but the guy that's winning, or the team and the guy that's winning all the time, you want to be that guy. So you always think that other things are better or not. And then when I jumped on the bike was good, but not as easy as he made it look. And there was a lot of times when I jumped on the bike, it'd be Saturday afternoon, the race time, and I'd be like, done a similar job to Johnny really this weekend. Maybe we're going to battle for 5th and 6th. He would challenge at that time Toprak or Bautista to win the race, at least for 16, 17 laps on a bike, in my opinion, that wasn't as good. And I'd still be doing what I did in practice and finish 6th or 7th. And I'd sit there and think, that's hard to do. People don't really get that, but he would turn average pace into really good, consistent results. I wasn't there when he was, let's say, when he's able to win all the time, but the races that was more impressive for me was he would nearly win on a bike that people, in my opinion, thought was better than it was. And for me, from my side, that's an ability that I haven't been able to do, is extract the maximum and sometimes a bit more from a package, which is why he's won what he's won. So I'd say that itself was the most impressive thing.
Sweet. Well, thanks for joining us, Al, and we've got Toprak waiting in the wing as well, so you can clear off.
Yeah.
But Johnny, when you look at something like that, I think the best example of that was probably back 2019, and that's the year where everyone really gets to see just how good you were in that era. Because I remember we went golfing before Imola, and you said, "This is the weekend. I need to win this weekend, otherwise the championship is done." And very quickly, the impossible became almost inevitable. You were going to win that championship.
Yeah.
And when you look back at being able to do something like that, they're the moments that you get those highs of highs. And obviously, you had the depths as well at different times, whether it was injuries early in your career or the last couple of years. But those moments, whenever you were at the peak of your powers in superbikes, it still stretched on for another couple of years when you were up against Toprak and Alvaro and Scott Redding. There was that era in 2020 and 21 that was, again, really strong.
Yeah, I think back then it was just a case of I found a lot of comfort in being second to Alvaro. I mean, they designed a proper good bike. They put Alvaro from GP, who was having a decent season in GP, to come along and just riding with the bike, you know, in the first races of the year, it was like, wow, it's okay to get beat, you know, because it was much more superior, and I didn't realize any chink in his armor, and I was waiting for it, and I remember he crashed in race 2, I think in Jerez that year, round 4 or something. I thought, that was uncharacteristic. Surely if you have that much margin, you don't need to ride that hard. But I don't think he could ever get it into his head that you don't have to ride at 10/10 every single lap, every single race, and he would never make any mistakes in practice, but then it would come to the race, and instead of trying to win by half a second and getting 25 points, Alvaro would try to win by 20 seconds. And from what turned into him completely dominating from a speed point of view and performance point of view to him making mistakes, there was times he could have delivered a knockout punch, and I just picked myself off the canvas a few times. And then at the end of the season, I was the guy delivering the punches, you know, in a straight up battle, beating him. And it was, I don't feel like I had a stronger mentality. I just kept on keeping on, you know, just waking up every day thinking, oh, today's going to be all right. And I mean, that's the championship people will talk about, because we came from, I can't remember how many points back. No, it was less than that. It was maybe 60 odd points was the most it was, but I won by 160 something, 165 I think I won by. And I only remember that because there was 65s in there, but you couldn't believe that kind of turnaround. So it was a strange, of course we did step up and go and take that championship off him, but it was a strange one because he threw away a lot of points that didn't need to be thrown away.
Yeah, and obviously Toprak's ready to jump in now as well, and Toprak's been one of your big rivals over the last few years, and Toprak, we've always seen the respect that you both have for each other on track. And a big part of that comes down to you both have the same mentality. I remember Catalonia a few years ago, you just came off the line in the Superpole race thing, you just came close together. And I remember after it, Donny, you were saying, oh, I thought that was a bit on the limit. And then we were chatting and you were basically, I think I'd probably do the same anyway. So both of you had that where you weren't going to give an inch no matter what. And it ended up giving us some of the best racing we've ever seen in Superbikes. And Toprak, that must be the big overriding memory you have on track.
You know, I never forget, I'm always saying to the Johnny, also everyone, because when I'm starting the Superbike career, especially 2018, I never forget when we are going to the Portimao, the testing. He's come to my box and he's showing all corners on the paper. And after we ride together, I never forget this because he's really helping to me, and not also on the Portimao, because also in the season when we are going to the different track, because also I'm learning the tracks, and every first session he's really helping me. Okay, I'm seeing only maximum two laps, and after he is going alone, because he's really fast at 2018, especially because I'm learning and try to adapt the bike. He's really fast, and especially I never forget also, I'm saying you, when we are going to the Phillip Island 2018, when I see you the first corner, you sliding an entry, because this first corner is really fast. When I see him, I'm really surprised. I forget to lean the bike, because, yeah, really, because First time I see the the world champion and pushing so hard the first corner, I'm really the surprise. Okay, after I'm learn and change the riding style, and also the learning when I'm see him, and also I'm looking his data every session. But I come but little bit late because the important learn the bike style, and he's also doing incredible because he's making hard braking and stopping and acceleration immediately, and really try to adapt this. But anyway, after adapt, I moved to the Yamaha, not stay in the Kawasaki. But also I never forget 8 hours because especially he's did incredible job, and especially end of the race, and also we win in 8 hours Suzuka together. This is also a good memories for me. And when I moved to the Yamaha, and after also getting more faster, and especially 2021, we are start really fighting in the track. But anyway, I'm always saying this: we are fighting inside the track, but outside always we are like a respect each other. This is the very important one.
And Johnny, you can see that respect still today with not only Toprak but a lot of your rivals. Everyone was keen to get in touch with you after you made your announcement.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to feel not just because in racing you're only, you try to be nice, but you're always focused on yourself. You're selfish, trying to improve yourself. And I think when you stand back but it's also normal in most aspects of life for someone to retire and you say, hey, congratulations. And I'm happy to do that. But I was blown away by not just my peer group, but fans, the messages I received from fans that I give them strength in a tough moment. I show them amazing memories, and that's nice, nice to feel that. And I joked with, some of the journalists earlier that sometimes these people only say these things when you die, and you can't read them. But I've been fortunate to retire and read all this amazing feedback, and respect's important. And I think, I remember because the Kawasaki bond when I was in KRT, Toprak was with Puccetti in Superstock. I remember every race he did was so nice to watch. And he had no business to beat Rinaldi that season, but he made the job. And I always went to Park Fermi.
I'm also close.
I remember
I also remember.
a fan of this young rider because, of course, he's a nice person, incredible talent, but because was a Kawasaki guy. But then this relationship became more and more. Then Manuel had the idea to put him on a superbike in Portimao, and I was so happy to help. Even when he was fighting in superbike, always happy to help, do a track walk together. And even in Yamaha, I would talk openly about tire choice or blah, 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 because I feel like if I'm doing my best, he's doing his best, and I get beaten, that's fine. He's better on the day. I was always happy to be the guy in Park Fermi that got beaten and say, hey, well done. Got beaten by a better guy in the day. And
I've also still have very nice memories, 2015. Canon win the Super Sport, the title. Johnny Superbike and me stock 600.
Yeah.
I have a very good memories.
It's interesting.
It's a nice picture.
That you bring up the Portimao test, because I don't know if you
Oh,
remember.
Kawasaki.
We had it where Toprak was coming in behind us. We were just chatting in pit lane, and Toprak arrives into a damp pit lane, tries to do a big stoppie to impress everyone and make himself look cool, but instead he locked the front and almost lost it. And you're standing here watching this happen in front of us. I have no idea that we're almost ready to get killed by Toprak coming in, and you grab hold of me to drag me away from the line of Toprak coming in, and then suddenly Toprak, you managed to just about collect it. And this was whenever I had my first real chance to see the control from Toprak. And
I don't remember that, but I don't remember the lap time.
I think this one is Portimao.
Portimao, yeah.
Exactly.
And I don't remember the lap time he did, but I think it was less than 1 second to my lap time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the P1 in the test, and I thought, shit, this guy first time on a superbike is less than 1 second, it's quite easy to go 2 seconds to a pace. Then it becomes more difficult to go in less than 1 second.
I think I finished bike position in the test.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but
Or maybe
it was less than 1 second. I thought, this guy, you know, and he's clearly, we've seen with Super Stock 600 and 1000 that he was a very good talent, but you don't understand how good, you know, because these smaller classes aren't the reference. But this one day I thought, whoa, this guy is the talent. And I always said, I can't remember the clip or the journalist, but I always said, after me, he's the next one. I feel it was the next era, and I'm happy he proved me wrong, because he proved me right, because I feel like I have a good eye for, you know, talent, and I think he's a good person as well. Like you say, when we were competitors on the track, you can be completely ruthless. And there was a huge conflict when we did the appeal in Magnaker for when he went on the green paint. It's because
I wasn't going to bring it up, John.
well, I'm happy to bring it up, because I would expect him to do exactly the same. Any advantage you could take. I mean, I lost that championship in 21 by nothing, and I had a disaster in Portimao. The race 2 in Indonesia got cancelled because of the weather.
Yeah.
And you're fighting every race to be a world champion. And I'm taking the blame because it's me, but was my team. And okay, we support the decision, but in the end, the first person I sent Toprak a message that evening that this is this business, some sort of blah blah blah, and the reply was incredibly nice, normal. I didn't expect, but his fans not so much. They weren't so happy, but it's like being in the last lap of the race. Sometimes with Toprak behind, when there's not space, he makes space, and he's completely fine because he's in his limit, and he controls everything, but never thinks about the other guy. In fact, I don't understand if he's going to be in the gravel, but I'm going to put my bike in space. I respect this, but he's always in the limit and not over the limit. So, and I'm happy that in our relationship all these years, being rivals, being teammates, that you can do the business on track, but when it's finished, it's finished. Then, you know, sometimes in the week, if you see each other at events, it can be nice and normal. And I remember when he was fighting Bautista in 22, 22,
Are fighting
23, I don't know.
22 and 20.
But I remember many times I kept saying, hey, and because Toprak, when he's in the top, he's in the top, but he's not in the top mentality or comfort. And I remember I'm fighting him, I'm standing on the podium with him, and I'm saying, hey, don't give up, keep pushing. Now's your time. You can see the weakness or the mistake. Hey, keep going, you're doing a good job. And I'm fighting him, you know. So I always had a huge respect for the job he's doing, and the time in Kawasaki together was nice to create that bond.
Yeah, this is always one of the things for us.
But also, when he's explained this, I'm also when he say pushing, I'm always remember 2019. He is every race pushing so hard, and he's try always the best position, you know. Okay, he need to win, but sometimes he need to exactly. But he's win the title, you know. I'm always thinking this. I'm pushing always like this. Okay, I'm finished the championship second position, but anyway, I'm try. This is the important one, and I'm really understand him. Also, when he say something for me, I'm always thinking his career, and especially, you know, I see the many comments when you share your post. Everyone talking about your character, not everyone talking about your titles. And this is the important one. We are getting the many titles. Okay, he did the 6 world champion and also the role. This is the incredible. Why I am so easy for him, a superbike legends. But everyone talking your character. This is the important one. I'm very happy for him also. I'm also why explain. I'm not talking about his titles. I'm just explain his the character because he's helping me a lot, and I never forget this. And thank you very much for everything because if we are not fighting with you, I'm not coming to this level.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking this, and because if I'm right alone, I'm impossible to improve a lot. And I'm really happy I see all comments about your character.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I know Toprak was keen to get on the show today, and Alex as well. But we had a long list of riders that wanted to come in and just mark the occasion, Johnny. So a big thank you to you for joining us on the podcast, Toprak as well, and Alex Knowles too for taking the time to be able to talk about a great career.
The season is not finished. We have 4 more races.
And you picked 2 good guests, two of the good guys of the sport. And I mean, I don't have a job next year, so if you need a coach, you know where I am. All this.
Well, thanks, Johnny, for taking the time with us, and again, thanks, Toprak.
Cheers. Thank you. Johnny.